WTIM. Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining me in this segment is Christian County YMCA Executive Director Bruce Blanchard. Bruce, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How's it going?
Doing well, and it sounds like you had a wonderful 4th of July weekend as well.
Yes, it was great.
You got to have some time just to recharge a little bit and come back to a Monday with some renewed
got
energy.
To spend time with family and friends. That's great.
Good. It was a beautiful weekend, and feel like we've been talking about it a lot, but it's just a nice weekend, and it seemed like there were a lot of good things. And talking to Mayor Berry just a moment ago, taking place here in Taylorville, and there have been a lot of good things going on with the Christian County YMCA. And if people haven't been out there yet, myself, I have not yet, and I need to see that new pool. I need to see this new facility. I need to see all these upgrades. And we are right now working on getting just the last couple of dollars for all of this going on. Your capital campaign fund, where do we stand right now with it?
So we have a little over $6,500 remaining. We're almost done with everything that we had set out to do. We're wrapping up our donor recognition wall inside our activity center. And then we're going to wrap up the front stairwell and finish painting, and then put up the hand railing. And then the last thing we'll do is kind of update our donor recognition wall inside of our building, in our lobby, just outside of my office. And that'll be that. We'll call it a day. And then we'll move on to our next project, and kind of with our building and grounds committee and our board kind of begin to think about what we want to do next, and try to put together, we had a long range plan, that they developed a few years ago, and we've been sort of following it to try to address many of our needs. And I think it's about time that we kind of kick back and kind of start that process again. Because they say about every 5 to 10 to 15 years, a YMCA needs to have a capital campaign. So I know it's not right away, but that all comes faster than what you think. So you just got to be prepared for it.
Evidenced by how quick this weekend went. Time will fly on you, and all of a sudden you'll be looking in the mirror going,
"That's right.
Whoa." To need $6,500 from that goal originally. Now that end is kind of in sight. Once you wrap up that stairwell, the painting, the donor recognition wall inside and kind of outside in the lobby, what do you see as maybe next? Is there a direction that you can even see right now? I mean, you just are getting wrapped up on this, but is there something else that you're already kind of thinking?
Well, I know that we have to make some upgrades inside our building and outside as well. So the outside of the facility still needs some added attention, along with our lobby area, front reception area, areas like that. But we'll try to address how we meet the needs of our community, what needs that we really need to address. I think our goal is to always do the best we can at serving programs and activities for people of all ages. Childcare is a big one. Our summer day camp, it's been big. It's been very successful. And not only that, but then, Mike Eisenbarth joined us again. He started in April, and we started the Bigfoot camp, offered it this summer too. And so we got a small kindergarten camp coming up for little kids coming up here in August. So we're always trying to address childcare in our community, as we know that, there's many working parents, and that we want to make sure that these kids aren't sitting home alone, that they are in a safe, wholesome, structured environment, that they do have adequate care, and that there are activities that they can play and be involved in that can, enrich their lives, because that's what we're about. I mean, I think the biggest thing that we can do is the service that we provide our youth. We're there for people of all ages. We help active older adults, we help families, we help adults, but I think helping kids is one of the biggest rewards and one of the biggest gratifications in what we do.
And I think you obviously have done so and exceeded probably the expectations of the community. But I'm right there with you. I think there is a need for more child care. Recently, Kimmerer Village just opened a child care center down in Assumption. That there's a need for it everywhere. And so to be able to offer it and more, that I'm sure the community will take you up on that anytime, any day. With your capital campaign fund, going back to that and needing just about $6,500, there's some dine and donate days or donate to dine days. And I'm going to let you explain those because I think I'm a little lost.
Well, we've hosted a few already. We hosted one at Florinda's. We hosted one at Spring Garden and LP Creamery. And that was actually for a weekend. So Larry was gracious enough to offer that to the Y for the weekend. And then we have one coming up in July, on the 24th of July at Angelo's. So, what we do is we kind of try to market it and promote it and encourage folks to go eat at that establishment because they're going to give a portion of their proceeds back to the YMCA as part of the capital campaign endeavor. And that's pretty special. Not only do many of these folks and businesses donate, and then they donate their time and talent to help with many activities that we do, but then they go above and beyond, and then they donate, a portion of their sales as well. And so we're very fortunate. I mean, as we were talking earlier, I think we are very, very blessed and very fortunate to have the community that we have, Christian County, to serve, kids from all over Christian County and families and adults and active older adults. And then people see that, and I think they want to be a part of it. So I think that's what made our capital campaign so successful. And we're, to say that we raised $1.465 million in today's economy is pretty, I'll hang my hat on that. That's pretty impressive. And we worked hard but there were so many folks who really, put the YMCA up there in high regard, and hopefully we are able to exemplify, that as well.
I think by just now kind of coming to a close on this capital campaign fund, but already going, let's turn our attention to another. I think you're right there. And I really, again, want to highlight that day at Angelo's on the 24th of July, 7/24. Mark your calendars for that. As a portion of those proceeds will be going back to the YMCA when it comes to getting that capital campaign fund wrapped up, completed. $6,500 is needed there. We talked just a moment ago about all the things that we're doing for kids, keeping them active in the summer. And there are a lot of them still going on right now, one of which is upcoming. You mentioned a basketball camp to me is coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up next week. So our program staff, they went out and they got 10 area coaches in the county, and one a college coach, Olivia Lett, and sorry, I know she's recently married, and but that she was a heck of a ball player in Christian County. But there's local coaches, area coaches in almost every community that are going to be helping. I think last week when we met last Wednesday, I think there were probably close to 50 kids or a little more who had signed up. Our goal was hopefully that we could get 70 to 75 signed up this first year. And we know there's a lot going on that week. Football camp's going same week. So that wasn't our intent to offer it the same week they are, just sort of happened that way. And so I think after this year, we'll know kind of like what weeks to target, what weeks not to, but it's going to be really good. I mean, it's going to be great. So we'll use all 8 baskets in the gym. They'll be active in there basically Tuesday through Friday of next week, and they'll get instruction, for the first couple hours, and then they'll get to play and showcase their skills, for the afternoon session. So it should be pretty impressive.
I think they'll like doing that in front of area coaches. Probably doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And you'd already have 50 kids. I know your goal was 70 to 75, but when it comes to this as being your first year of actually holding this.
Yep. This is the first year. We've talked about doing something like this for quite a while, and then Mike Eisenbarth was able to go ahead and reach out and get area interest from coaches, and then the rest was just kind of putting it together and select the dates and times that work best for everybody, and that's not easy when you're dealing with that many coaches.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of schedules to juggle, and so. And honestly, it is really going to be nice to see, because our goal through the capital campaign, honestly, was to offer more camps, more clinics, more tournaments. So we've been able to host 3 or 4 pickleball tournaments. We hosted a big 3-on-3 tournament last year. I know we'll host another one again, or hosted it this past spring, host another one again next year in the spring. We'll have a big youth basketball program coming up in the fall, and biddy ball in the winter. I mean, hopefully we'll offer some more skills camps and clinics again this fall. So the goal is to, we got a great facility now. We just got to try to keep it busy year round.
And I mean, I think you're well on your way again to doing so, but I didn't realize in terms of the capital campaign, that was kind of your end goal, was just to be able to offer more. Of course, you want to upgrade your facilities to be able to allow for that, but I didn't realize that was really a mainstay of it.
Yeah, I think one of our end goals was that we wanted to kind of try to be more and do more for our community, for the county. And by adding, 2 full-size IHSA basketball courts and 4 small courts, 2 full-size volleyball courts, 4 pickleball courts, 3 sections of bleachers, the LED screens and scoreboards. I mean, I think our goal was like, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's get out there. Let's try to program as much as we can. Let's get more and more people involved and try to serve more people. And honestly, that's always our goal. So yeah, it might be slow. It might take us a couple of years before we get things moving, but and it has taken us a little while to get some traction, but hopefully soon we'll have a volleyball camp and clinic, and or a tournament. We'll be offering a pickleball tournament again, hopefully this fall and again in the winter. And really it's just our goal to try to serve people of all ages.
I think too, this is the first year for the basketball camp. So all of a sudden you're putting those new courts right back into play. It makes sense to me, okay, we upgrade our facilities, but it gives us more option to do more, be more, and offer more to our community. So totally checks out with me. $1.465 million though. Now you're at $6,500. I really hope people will just come out and finish out this goal so we can look towards the next chapter.
I didn't realize it, but many have said that the hardest amount to raise is your last 100,000, and I thoroughly believe it. But with our auction co-chairs, in Merida Valley, Jeff Robinson, Adam Vokes, and John Robinson's involvement, and big shout out to Ashley Vokes and Maggie Vokes for everything that they did. I mean, we are where we are in large part thanks to them, but then so many other volunteers and so many other donors and contributors. So, we're very fortunate, and we continue to be blessed just because I think we have great people involved at the Y, and then just people who care. And this community and this county is very fortunate because there's so many organizations out there that really need help, and we thoroughly appreciate it.
Cannot teach somebody heart, and you cannot teach somebody to care. So you can teach them pretty much everything else. But if they've got that, then you're probably good. And I didn't even think about the last 100,000 maybe being the toughest to raise. You hear that big dollar amount and you go, oh, that's got to be the toughest. And then all of a sudden 100,000 and you're like, well, that should be a breeze. And then it's not. Makes it a little bit odd. And I'm sure that's been some learning on your end too. But joining us in studio is Executive Director of the Christian County YMCA, Bruce Blanchard. We'll come back around with him and we'll talk more about the Christian County YMCA and some other things that they've got coming up, including camps and a back-to-school fair as well. We'll see what time allows for. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM.
In the past year, we have doubled our census, so that's been impacted mainly by the radio advertising. That is where we do the majority of our advertising, and our census definitely shows that it works. They lead us in the right direction for the season changing, and they anticipate our upcoming needs before we even have to tell them what they are. We've had consistent growth over the past 12 months. Like I said, we've doubled in our census, and that's been the first time in 43 months since prior to COVID that we've gotten to where now we have a waiting list for people to come. So advertising on the radio really does have an impact.
Of the 2024 construction projects by Christian County businesses, those businesses saved an estimated $370,000 in sales tax by utilizing the county's enterprise zone. Through the efforts of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation over the past 20-plus years to establish and grow the county's enterprise zone, new and existing businesses in the county can save significantly in sales taxes. Find out how they can help your business by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. The Christian County Economic Development Corporation is moving Christian County forward.
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Raddings of the Bob Raddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station. We're brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, Bruce Blanchard, Executive Director of the Christian County YMCA. We touched on a whole lot there, but we want to make sure we have a little bit of floor here to talk about some of the upcoming events with the Christian County YMCA.
So I tell you what, we August 2nd, we've got a big back to school fair coming up from 10 to 2. I tell you what, people got to take advantage of it. We're going to have some physicals and haircuts and some other activities for kids. We'll be grilling some food and serving food for the 4 hours, along with youth activities and being involved with Operation Loaded Book Bag is pretty special. And getting to see them in action and see how many people they serve, that's pretty amazing. And working with the hospital. And then the following weekend, August 9th, we're going to be offering a end of summer backyard bash. Kind of a first time that the Y's done this. We're going to have a wiffle ball home run derby for people of all ages. We're going to have a bags tournament and just kind of like, just a fun end of summer event. And then, next week we're going to be involved in the fairgrounds. We're going to be out there on community days and we'll be involved out there as well. So we're always looking to try to help and get involved in the community and always looking to try to offer more.
And that's a look at some of those. And I'm sure we'll see you out at the community day as well. Bruce Blanchard, Executive Director of the Christian County YMCA. Bruce, thank you so much, sir.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
The Big 870 WTIM.